Hey guys, this is Sinn Bodhi, aka KiZARNY, the biggest turkey in the WWE apparently. First off, I just want to say happy Thanksgiving. My Thanksgiving started out with a ton of texts and tweety messages and Facebook messages and emails about the douchey crap WWE.com had put there on me today about being this awesome turkey or whatever, I don't know. So, like the turkey, I went and checked it out, and of course it's there, and of course it's mean, and it's embarrassing, and it's upsetting to me, and I can take a joke. I mean, you can call me ugly, silly, slappy, goofy, creepy, weird all day long, and oh, there's another one of those messages coming in, and I'll take it with a smile, you know, but I think what WWE did was just, like, vicious and shitty, and I think, like, what asshole thought of that, and what asshole approved that? Like, for no rhyme or reason, they just thought to make fun of somebody. And it's kind of ironic that all of us former WWE wrestlers that are out trying to make an honest buck on indie shows or where have you get such grief from WWE for how dare we use the names that we put our own blood, sweat, and tears into, but then they can take those names and run it through the mud on their website or what have you. I'm a positive guy. I really don't want to dwell on things. I'm not a whiner, a complainer. I mean, that's why I moved out of Florida. I was just fed up with trying to understand the politics and douchiness of wrestling. I put it behind me. I moved to Las Vegas to think out of the box with my sideshow and magic and wrestling and comedy and stuff, and that's what I'm doing now. And as much as I love wrestling and as much as I love to wrestle at WWE, I really had to leave Florida where all the developmental is and all that stuff just for my own peace of mind. I was just tired of being like one of those Revenge of the Nerds trying to fit into an asinine, rigid boys club. I was over it. And so I moved out here, and not long after that, something really terrible, really awful happened in my life. Selfishly, I say it happened in my life, but it was about Sean McGrath. It was all about his life. And Sean McGrath was a former WWE wrestling developmental guy. There's another message. They've been flooding in all day. That's how I spend my Thanksgiving. So anyway, Sean McGrath, former WWE talent, developmental talent, he took his own life at the beginning of this year, and that was devastating to me. He was one of my very best friends, and not even a year before that, I had sent John Laurinaitis an email saying, hey man, I think it's really cool that WWE does all the free rehab for former talent, but would it be cool for you to look into maybe some neck up kind of stuff, look into like some shrinks or counseling or what have you, because I mean, some of these guys, especially the former talent, they're getting their dreams yanked, and that's a hard void to fill. Like when you're a kid and you grow up and you want to be a wrestler or an astronaut or a fireman or whatever it is, your dreams are pretty pivotal, and then when Vince McMahon or some decision maker at WWE just gets bored with you and says, out you go, well, that chops your dream. And it's not like, if you're a stripper, you could go get fired and go work at another 100 strip clubs. Or if you're a lawyer, you could go work at another 100 law firms. But wrestling, Vince is kind of the only game in town. So another message. So there you're kind of stuck, in limbo. And Sean McGrath took his own life because of wrestling, his love life, and family. I mean, that hat trick of things was his undoing. And he wrote that in a very explicit letter. And when I had emailed Johnny, not a year before that, about guys confiding in me about wanting to commit suicide and what have you, and I'll confess, like, I've had some pretty dodgy thoughts myself in my ups and downs along my road traveled, and Sean McGrath was the only guy I mentioned by name. I didn't want to embarrass anybody else by giving Johnny too much info, but I just felt it was so relevant to mention Sean. And of course, not a year later, unfortunately, I wish I was totally wrong, but I wasn't, and Sean McGrath is no longer here, and I don't get to hang out with my friend anymore, and it breaks my heart every single day. And the day that Sean died, John Laurinaitis called me after I sent him a text saying, I told you so, motherfucker. He called me and, oh, are you okay, blah, 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 maybe we should talk and revisit that email that you had sent me. And I thought, you think so? And so we did. We talked and we met face to face in Oakland at during one of the pay-per-views, and we spent most of the evening chatting, and then we chatted many times after that about how we can help, how I could help. And I mean, he realized the passion that I had, and we talked about lots of stuff, and he showed me a glimmer of his humanity, or what I thought was his humanity, and it turns out that, you know, Johnny, you're just a way better worker than I gave you credit for, man, making me believe that. Johnny strung me along and strung me along and strung me along, and then finally I think when he figured the collateral damage of me not slinging dirt about Sean was out of the way, pawned me off on one of his lackeys, Ty Bailey, who just basically abruptly, another message, Ty Bailey abruptly just kind of said, well, if you want a job, just say so. And I said, of course I want a job. Who doesn't? But I left, you know, Florida to put wrestling, to put WWE behind me, and I was really opening up a whole shit ton of wounds to try to make, you know, things that just a little bit better at WWE to avoid another situation like Sean. And then really just before I know it, we were done communicating, and that was it. So I'd basically been strung along long enough that they figured the heat of Sean's death had died down and I would be not a threat. And then I wake up this morning and I see this nonsense with all this turkey stuff, which, like, already KiZARNY is a cross for me to bear. Like, it's an embarrassment for me to bear, and like, this is the kind of shit that, you know, puts guys in their grave. I'm not gonna do anything, you know. I'm not gonna, you know, put a bullet in my head because I see something offensive. I'm an entertainer. I've got thick skin, but I just think this is a real dick move, and I think, like, you know, when me and Johnny talked and he dangled that job in front of me, I mean, he's putting me in the same fucking spot. He's giving somebody hope of something, whether he had any intent of bringing me back as a player coach like he wanted, or whether that was just all bullshit just to smooth me over until the heat of Sean's death died down, which I think is the most shittiest thing possible. And I think all this stuff, like, you know, for them to make fun of you for being creative or caring about the business, well, that's a really great way to, like, you know, give incentive to be creative and to follow your dreams, guys. I mean, way to take care of your WWE family. So, long story short, I think it was a dick move, and I really want to thank everybody for writing in so many positive messages. Man, that made this really shitty day for me go a lot smoother. You know, sorry for being a sensitive artist and all that stuff. I take jokes with a grain of salt, but I just thought this was really shitty. And as far as, you know, whatever they're doing or not doing at WWE, I mean, I don't know. But as far as what they put, just to address what they put on WWE.com, I don't want a fucking job back. I really don't. Not now. Not after seeing just how shitty you guys can be. And not that it would ever happen regardless, but I mean, you want to take this turkey and put him in a WWE ring against any of those fucking boring-ass Ken dolls, you're going to see why I'm not at WWE anymore. You're going to see that I'm fun, I'm creative, I'm creepy, I'm evil, I'm whatever I need to be. I'm just not a boring fucking, I don't know, safe character that all the board can, you know, have their publicly traded safetiness with or whatever. I'm a fun character, and I'm happy to entertain guys on the indie scene, and that's it. So otherwise, WWE, fuck yourself. Fans, I love you. Thank you guys. Have a great Thanksgiving. Bye.